Okay, on SM Go's comment about ministers in future may serve 2 terms. That is SM Go's opinion, and we'll leave it at that. Today is a press interview of our new candidates, not my new introduction.
我们现在有听到一种说法，就是行动党这一届推出的新人呢，他们的背景呢很多是来自公务员或者是公运，那么还有就是军队，那么可能在代表性方面呢不够多元化。那么对于这样的一种说法，你们怎么样的回应？那你们自己本身的经验又怎么样可以对我国的政治发展做出贡献？
我在工会服务了大概要10年，我看主要我们在公运在工会里有尽量提拔，就是培养多点领袖，这是很重要的一点。在这次大选，你们已经看到好几个在从公运提名来为候选人，但是主要是因为在新加坡，我们最主要的观点就是我们的工友们，所以希望就是从我们这些工会领袖的代表能在国会能在国家理事上，能在政策上，在法律上能贡献，能表达一下我们工友们的心声。
我刚才以英语回答的时候有分享到，我的前5年呢，我加入这个银行业这个金融业5年，其实4年，然后起步企业待了1年，过后呢是在经发局又待了10年。那我可以算是一个例子吧我本身有这个私营企业跟这个公务员的这个经验。那在跟这些中小型企业交流的时候呢，那时候我是在银行嘛，大华银行。很不幸的是，那时候就经过了这个金融风暴我也看到很多这个中小型企业，哇，真的是那时候是很发达、很风光就在1年后呢就倒闭了。也看得到，因为那时候我们跟他们的关系很融洽，也看得到，因为他的这个企业失败后，对他的家庭有造成的伤害那我也可以体会到这个中小型企业面临的这个种种困难、需要还有向往。起步企业当然是不同的挑战，起步企业根本都不能想到2年、3年、5年，就在想明天我能不能争取到一个合约等等。那我也能体会到他们的辛酸啦，所以那时候就加入了经发局推广这个起步企业这个项目。在经发局呢待了10年，跟跨国公司、中小型企业都有很多年的这个交流，也跟各政府单位了解到政策上其实有很多的这个想法。那我希望呢这样的配合能让我为居民、社区做出贡献更平衡的做出贡献。谢谢。
For the benefit of those who don't understand Chinese, perhaps you want to just summarize a few points in English. I'll ask Patrick to do that too.
Yeah. Okay. For myself, I repeated a bit of what I said earlier. I have explained that the first 5 years of my career was spent in the private sector. I hope I am an example of someone who represents the private sector as well as the public sector. So my years in private sector was spent in the financial sector, dealing with SMEs, extending loans to them. And it happened during the financial crisis. And I remembered that we were talking about how to grow a company's business through extending more facilities to them. 1 month later, we had to call back some loans, right? Because of the financial crisis and because the business was not doing well. And I saw how the business setback affected the families of the business owners. So I can appreciate the difficulties, the challenges that our businessmen, entrepreneurs face in a small and open economy. And because of that passion for entrepreneurship, I joined a startup for 1 year. And it's a different type of concern and stress. It's not about growing my business to be 1 million. It's about how do I get the next contract to make sure that we have enough revenue to pay wages for a small team, etc. So again, For the individuals who are thinking of starting up, there's always a lot of barriers to entry. I can empathize with the issues and the concerns. And my subsequent 10 years was spent in EDB. That allows me to interact with various businesses as well as government agencies to better understand how the government policies will shape and can benefit the community and the businesses. And I hope that combination will allow me to better serve the constituents by offering a very grounded perspective to solving the problem and also a very grounded approach. Thank you.
Okay, Patrick, a few points before I ask Chuan Jin for his comments.
Yeah, just in summary, in reply to the question, I think we are seeing more labour movement as well as union candidates this round. I think it's always been NTUC's desire to want to raise and to find good union leaders to represent and be the voice of workers. This particularly so as, Singapore, we do have natural resource. I think one of the key vital asset, in fact, the most vital asset we have is our people, human resource, human capital. So therefore, we're feeling of more labour movement as well as union candidates for this round of general elections. We want to echo even greater voice, to be a greater voice in Parliament, and both, not just in Parliament, but for national issues, whether there will be legislative changes, etc., that will affect workers in general. Thank you.
Chuan Jin?
我是受英文教育的，所以如果华语讲的不流利跟不准确，请多多包涵。其实我在军队服务，可以看得出我们在军营里，我们的军事都是从不同背景而来的。有些人很有钱啊，有些人比较穷一点，也可以看到不同种族、宗教，他们在一起团结，一起训练、受训。其实我觉得这是一个很美妙的一种事。所以在社会里呢，我看也是同样的，我们怎么样的让我们不同种族啦、言语、宗教啦能团结一致。其实我们新加坡所拥有的这个情况，其实是很特别，所以应该好好的去继续培养。Then 关于那个on the diversity question 啊，我看我用英语来回答应该比较准确一点。I think diversity comes in many ways. I'm sure the leadership tried to the best of ability to find a wide spectrum of people from different backgrounds. But I think all of us, even from similar employment backgrounds and so on, are actually very different in many ways. And I think the key thing about diversity is, one, we have the space to push boundaries because each of us have different convictions. I think even amongst the three of us, you can see that there are different areas of passion that we believe in, and each of us having the space and hope to push the boundaries. Secondly, diversity will also come from the whole governance process. Whether do we encourage a culture where even within the civil service and elsewhere, people in their own space are also pushing those boundaries so that more views are heard. And I think thirdly, which is something that I feel is important, is are we able to better engage the different perspectives that are available in society? We may not always agree with them, but I would suggest that there are also fairly educated and reasonable voices out there. So how do we then bring in diversity in views in terms of policy making, in terms of consultation? Thank you.